on your screens. Fast images we're putting out of the detained Luthra brothers, Sourav and Gaurav Luthra, are in fact have now been detained by authorities in Thailand. Pictures of the Luthras passed on India today on camera with the Thai authorities. In fact, Goa cops are going to be traveling soon to Phuket for custody. A blue corner notice was issued in 2 days ever since they fled, and then they were detained by the Thai authorities within 5 days of them fleeing the country. Divyesh continues to be with us. Very soon they will be brought back to India. There would be immediate arrest since the anticipatory bail plea, Divyesh, has also been turned down. Clearly no relief for these two brothers.
Well, that was bound to happen, Sneha. See, they are the
Yes.
prime accused in the case. Luthra brothers are the prime accused. And the highest amount of culpability for the incident is on Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra. So that is why, in that case, in that scenario, they need to be interrogated. They need to be tried by the law. They need to be interrogated. They need to be questioned regarding how they were functioning, why there were no safety and security precautions being taken at the spot, why, how were they using illegal fireworks in a place which was constructed so erroneously that it had no exit points, it had no proper exits, it had just a tiny entrance and exit, and that also built on a salt pan land. So it had water around it. They had promoted it as the first beach island club resort, island club. That is what they called it. That this is first in its first of itself island nightclub in Goa, and there is no construction allowed on salt pan lands. More salt pan lands are protected. But despite that, how did they manage to construct? How did they manage to operate despite so many rules being flouted, despite so many violations? But they were functioning till the 6th of December when the fire erupted, when the fire broke out, and it engulfed the whole area. The whole of club was engulfed. The staffers working down in the basement, they were trapped. Some of the patrons who ran downstairs to save themselves, they were trapped. And there were people who were charred to death. There were people who suffocated to death in this death trap that was created in the name of Burj by Romeo Lane by the Luthra brothers. It was nothing less than a death trap. Those 25 innocent lives have been lost. And over that, the Luthra brothers fled outside the country. They did not cooperate with the police. They did not cooperate with the investigation. The first flight that they could find, they booked it at 1:17 a.m. Remember, the fire broke out at 11:45 p.m. Within hours from that, even before the fire could be contained, even before the casualty number could be counted, these guys had booked their flight through a travel app at 1:17 a.m. and they were just packing their bags, leaving to the Delhi airport to catch a Indigo flight, again a Indigo flight flying to Phuket out of Delhi. And this flight did not get cancelled. This did not get delayed. This flight flew on time. By 5:30 a.m., they were on board the flight and they managed to reach Phuket. Goa police only could get an idea that they had fled the country late evening on the next day when the Bureau of Immigration Mumbai informed them that the two brothers, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, had flown out of the country from Delhi to Phuket on a 5:30 a.m. flight of Indigo at early morning itself, within 5 hours of the incident. So this is the kind of culpability that is there on Luthra brothers, and they need to answer. They need to answer questions. They need to cooperate with the investigation and help the police so that a charge sheet could be filed. These people could be tried, and further they will have to face the law. They will have to face the case, the legal proceedings that have been initiated against them in this case that happened that at Burj by Romeo Lane nightclub at Arpora, Goa on the fateful night of 6th of December.
That's right. Be with us, Divyesh. I'm coming back to you for more on that big story that we are tracking to tell our viewers a little about how India is going to finally bring back the Luthra brothers. Thailand, which has an extradition treaty with India, will inform New Delhi, or rather they've done it, about the Luthra brothers' detention. That's a formal information that's going to be given. Of course, this is through our sources at this point in time. The formal information is going to be given. A Goa police team is preparing to fly to Thailand to secure their custody. Now, also, India will file a formal extradition request detailing charges and evidence against the fugitives. Now, once this request is submitted, Thai authorities will process the request under their legal framework. Cops are going to be getting the custody, and of course, this after India is going to be submitting the extradition request to Thailand authorities. Remember, both the countries have an extradition treaty that has been signed already, and this is going to further help, in fact, get the Luthra brothers back to the country. Now, if cleared, the Luthras will be handed over to the Goa police and brought back to India to finally face justice. Divyesh continues to be with us. It's going to be a procedure which will see India also, Divyesh, moving swiftly as far as the extradition request here is concerned, expecting that to be sorted perhaps in the next 1 or 2 days or so. Divyesh, what would you think?
Well, the deadline regarding their extradition or when they'll be brought to the country is not yet clear. It's a diplomatic process, and through diplomatic channels, the government of India, through the Ministry of External Affairs, will be communicating with the Thai authorities, and following that, it will be decided how whether Goa police team or a CBI team goes to Thailand, brings them back to the country, or if they can directly be extradited. They can be put on a plane and deported back to India as per the protocol, as per the extradition treaty as well. India has an extradition treaty with Thailand, and Thailand authorities have been very forthcoming. They have already detained, they had shared the details of Luthra brothers that they had arrived at Phuket, and following the blue corner notice and suspension of the passport by the Indian authorities, Thai authorities have acted immediately and detained the Luthra brothers. So Thai authorities have been very forthcoming on the request of Indian authorities to detain them, and further procedure has been initiated. What we are learning from sources that further detention, further the process of further sending them back to the country could be initiated very soon, and they'll be brought back to India to face the law.
Divyesh continues to be with us on that story. It's going to be a process that will see India, in fact, placing a formal extradition request, but on the request of Indian authorities, Thai authorities moving swiftly and detaining these two men on your screens at this point in time. Sourav Luthra, Gaurav Luthra, the two owners of the Burj nightclub. We have a third owner, Divyesh Ajay, who's already been arrested by the police here, who of course first claimed that he was a sleeping partner, but we proved otherwise, isn't it?
Well, yes, Ajay Gupta
Yes.
has been arrested, and last evening, late evening, he was brought to the Anjuna Police Station. He is right now lodged at the Anjuna Police Station, and today afternoon, this afternoon, he'll be produced in the Mapsa Magistrate Court as well, where his custodial remand will be sought. He's the third partner in the Burj nightclub. He was also trying to evade the law. He'd got himself admitted to a hospital, but the Goa police found about it. With the help of Delhi police, they detained him, took his transit remand. He was produced in a Delhi court. His transit remand was taken, and last evening he has been brought back to Goa, and right now he is in custody of the Anjuna Police Station in Goa, and he'll be produced shortly by noon at the Mapsa Magistrate Court, where his custody will be sought, where his police remand will be sought, so that he could be interrogated further in detail on how this club was functioning illegally with so many violations. Even if what he believes is said to be true, he had invested money in the entity, and that entity, the tragic incident happened at that entity because there were no fire safety norms for being followed. There were no proper exits, there were no proper entry points, and that led to the people being trapped inside the basement, inside the
Divyesh, I'll
club,
just come back
and
to in a
causing
moment
death.
from now. Getting in those details from Goa is my colleague Divyesh Singh.